ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरून् श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहर्णललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we will read from the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita from Sloka number 42. यामिमां पुष्पितां वाचं प्रपद्यन्तविपश्चितः वेदवादरताः पार्थ नान्यदस्तीति वादिनः कामात्मान स्वर्गपरा ज्ञानकर्मफलप्रदां क्रिया विशेषबहुलां भोगैश्वर्यगतिं प्रति। Hmm. Men of small knowledge are very much attached to the flowery words of the Vedas, which recommend various fruitive activities for elevation to heavenly planets, result in good birth, power, and so forth. Being desirous of sense gratification and opulent life, they say there is nothing more than this. Okay. People in general are not very intelligent, and due to their ignorance, they are most attached to the fruitive activities recommended in the Karma Kanda portion of the Vedas. They do not want anything more than sense gratificatory proposals for enjoying life in heaven, while where wine and women are available, and material opulence is very common. In the Vedas, many sacrifices are recommended for elevation to the heavenly planets, especially the Jyotishtoma sacrifice. In fact, it is stated that anyone desiring elevation to heavenly planets must perform these sacrifices, and men with poor fund of knowledge think that this is the whole purpose of Vedic wisdom. It is very difficult for such inexperienced persons to be situated in the determined action of Krishna consciousness. As fools are attached to the flowers of poisonous trees without knowing the results of such attractions, unenlightened men are similarly attracted by such heavenly opulence and the sense enjoyment thereof. Right? So we can understand this particular aspect in terms of in relation to our position. We may not be looking for heavenly happiness because we were not taught about it or we are not exposed to it. But then we are promised of if you work in this way. No, now the sacrifices have gone, so that is sacrifices is replaced with endeavor for getting a better livelihood, living in a better home, having a better financial stability, and then having a better health, and so many things, which is there, which is basically like material trade-offs and material things that is we are looking for. And as we had discussed, we have to take care of the material body, and we have to earn a livelihood and things like that. But then one nice parameter which is kind of helpful in this regard for serious practitioners of Krishna consciousness is that one should endeavor a little bit, to take care of these things. And after endeavoring a little bit legitimate, normal level of endeavor, if we are not able to actually, separate the thing, then it is we have to take it that this is what is destined to me. So whatever is destined to me, is what we will get. If we put over endeavor, we may be able to rectify the situation a little better, but then that is very difficult to handle also. So this is a very, very important concept to understand. Like for example, my financial status. So if I endeavor, normal, what is that? Uh, Normal levels of endeavor, and then if I get some particular kind of a financial status, and that is what is my destined situation, and if I over endeavor, definitely I'll be able to improve my situation a little bit, but then that will not be sustainable. That will be very painful. The resulted thing, that what comes, will be like very, very what is that, it's very difficult to handle. So we are destined for something, and that we will get with normal optimum levels of endeavor. Without endeavor, that is like not recommended also. So we have to endeavor, and that is it should be an optimum level. It should not be an over endeavor. And but in Krishna consciousness, for advancement in Krishna consciousness, we must try to endeavor. So here we see that people are very much attracted to making their situation better in this material world, making their situation better. Like here in this purport, we see that people want to go to heavenly planets. Why? Just to live a better life than what I'm living now. So they just want to settle somewhere in the prison house only. They don't want to get out of prison house. They don't want to live happily ever after in the Vaikuntha Loka. So they don't want to try all those things. They just simply want to make something little better. So Srila Prabhupada often used to give this example of an old lady. She was collecting firewood in the forest, and when she was carrying the firewood, so suddenly, like due to some wind, she lost her balance, and the firewood fell down. And then she prayed to the Lord, "Oh Lord, please save me. Like, no, how will I be able to carry this firewood now? It has fallen down." So now she cannot alone lift it. So then her cry was so intense that the Lord appeared. And after the Lord appeared, Lord asked, "What do you want?" And she told that, "No, keep this burden back on my head." So no, when the Lord appears, she could have asked so many things. She could have asked permanent liberation and no residence in the spiritual world. Lord could have taken her back immediately. But then, no, she just asked for, "Keep this burden back on my head." So whenever we ask for something material, it's like this, just keep this burden back on my head. So that is how people with poor fund of knowledge, they want some better situation in this material world, or precisely better situation in the prison house. They don't want release from the prison house. No, they want to suffer in the prison house, but they just want a little better situation. That's all. Okay. In the Karma Kanda section of the Vedas, it is said, Apama Somam Amrutam Abhuma and Akshay Akshayam Havai Chaturmasya Yajhinha Sukritim Bhavati. In other words, those who perform the 4 months penance become eligible to drink the Soma Rasa beverage to become immortal and happy forever. Even on this earth, some are very eager to have Soma Rasa to become strong and fit to enjoy sense gratifications. Such persons have no faith in liberation from material bondage, and they are very much attached to the pompous ceremonies of Vedic sacrifices. They are generally sensual, and they do not want anything other than the heavenly pleasures of life. It is understood that there are gardens called Nandana Kanana, in which there is good opportunity for association with angelic, beautiful women and having a profuse supply of Somarasa wine. Such bodily happiness is certainly sensual. Therefore, there are those who are purely attached to such material temporary happiness as lords of the material world. So this is the mm, uh, like Krishna is mentioning, like those who are attached to this temporary material things, they will be running behind, all these kind of temporary pleasures, and they don't want, or they don't have idea of liberation, or even if they have, they are not very much serious about the aspect of getting back to the spiritual world. They just simply want to settle in some corner in the prison house where, like, a little better, instead of 10 beatings, if I get some 5 beatings, no, I'm okay with that. So let me be there in this material world, right? Okay. Text 44. भोगैश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां तया प्रहृतचेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समाधौ न विधीयते. In the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence, and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. It's a very, very important principle for all serious practitioners of Krishna consciousness. Um, like, you know, the people whose minds are too much attached to the sense enjoyment and material opulence, and they cannot get resolute determination in practicing devotional service, right? Purport: Samadhi means fixed mind. The Vedic dictionary, the Nirukti, says Samyak Adiyathe Asmin Atma Tattva Yathat Mayam. When the mind is fixed for understanding the self, it is said to be in Samadhi. Samadhi is never possible for persons. Krishna. Samadhi is never possible for persons interested in material sense enjoyment and bewildered by such temporary things. They are more or less condemned by the process of material energy. So here we see that the perfection of life, or fixing one's mind completely in one particular aspect, especially for us at the lotus feet of the Lord, at the devotional service of the Lord. So like that, fixed determination, it doesn't come for a person who is, what is it, interested in material sense enjoyment. He will be cheated from having that one pointed focus. So, and because they don't have one pointed focus, they will have to go through so much of trouble, either this way or that way. So many different troubles, they have to go through. Okay, this is a very, very amazing sloka, where Krishna is telling Arjuna that come above the three modes of material nature. Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Nishtraigunya Bhavarjuna. So he's telling that Traigunya Vishaya Veda, the Vedas also deal with three modes of nature. Most portion of the Vedic literatures also deal with three modes of nature. In fact, the Vedic text, like so many rituals to the demigods, and it's very, very attractive to common people. Very attractive because it is giving some immediate benefit, and I can be better off in this prison house and things like that. And it just puts off one's desire to get back to the spiritual world. And they just simply get into this vicious cycle of, praying to some demigod and getting some lollipops, and then getting stuck with that kind of idea. And Krishna is very clearly saying here, Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Nishtraigunya Bhavarjuna. So this Vedas deal with three modes of nature. Just come about that. Nirdvandvo Nitya Sattvasto Niryoga Kshema Atmavan. So the Vedas deal mainly with the subject of three modes of material nature. O Arjuna, become transcendental to these three modes. Be free from all dualities and from all anxieties for gain and safety, and be established in the self. Okay. Okay, there is a question. Chaturmas, we are going through Chaturmas. Chaturmas has some spiritual benefits and it has some material benefits. So spiritual benefits are, we will, especially the Kartik month, what the month we are going through. It is the last month of Chaturmas. It has so much of devotional benefits. But then the common Karma Kandya people, they follow Chaturmas for getting to the heavenly planets. So that is condemned here. That's what is mentioned. So Chaturmas is generally the period of rainy season, which is traditionally it's supposed to be rainy season, and the sadhus would not travel at that point in time, and they would stay in one place, and then they would observe a lot of like devotional rules and regulations, and then they would primarily they would chant and hear the glories of the Lord, and when they do that, they make a lot of spiritual advancement, and especially the Kartik month, is considered to be very, very important amongst them. And okay, purport: All material activities involve actions and reactions in the three modes of material nature. They are meant for fruitive results which cause bondage in the material world. The Vedas deal mostly with fruitive activities to gradually elevate the general public from the field of sense gratification to a position on the transcendental plane. Arjuna, as a student and friend of Lord Krishna, is advised to raise himself to the transcendental position of Vedanta philosophy, whereas in the beginning there is Brahma Jignasa, or questions on the supreme transcendence. All the living entities who are in the material world are struggling very hard for existence. For them, the Lord, after the creation of the material world, gave the Vedic wisdom, advising how to live and get rid of material entanglement. Where, when the activities of sense gratification, namely the Karma Kanda chapters, are finished, then the chance for spiritual realization is offered in the form of Upanishads, which are part of different Vedas, as the Bhagavad Gita is part of the fifth Veda, namely the Mahabharata. The Upanishads mark the beginning of transcendental life. So we see here the Vedas in itself, they primarily deal with the three modes of nature, and they offer so many different rituals and procedures for a better life in the material world. And people go mad behind that. So they keep searching for something better in the material world. But then at some point, they get frustrated. And when they get frustrated, they turn towards Upanishads. So Upanishads are truths of life which are very, very bluntly put forward, and they just discourage a person to be there in this material world. They encourage a person to get back to the spiritual world. And then more amazing aspect. So these Upanishads are part of different Vedas, but then they are quite different in their this one, in their approach. The Upanishads are quite philosophical, and Upanishads are quite direct about the material world being a miserable place, and the Upanishads give a direction towards going to the spiritual world. And Bhagavad Gita amongst them is very, very clear about the aspect of getting back to the spiritual world. And it's Krishna is like right in the second chapter, he's just telling that Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nishtraigunya Bhavarjuna. This kind of open criticism you'll not find in the Vedic literatures. They will just entice the worshippers, towards so much of rituals and so much of procedures and things like that for some better life in this material world. And in this way, people are cheated. No, in fact, in the first canto, fifth chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, we see that Narad Muni comes and chastises Vyasadev, his disciple. No, Vyasadev is disciple of Narada, and he comes and chastises Vyasadev, saying, "Why did you write all this Vedic rituals in your Vedas? So people are already interested in sense gratification, and when they read this, they will take it as authorized from you." And no, Veda Vyas ne likha hai, so it is very nice. So they will take it as authorized, and then they will be completely caught up in the process of sense gratification. Now you should write something which will help the people to get back to the spiritual world. And that is when Vyasadeva writes Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's why we try to read Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, which are direct and which are going to help us to get back to the spiritual world, our real home. Okay. As long as the material body exists, there are actions and reactions in the material modes. One has to learn to tolerance in the face of dualities, such as happiness and distress, cold and warmth, and by tolerating such dualities, become free from anxieties regarding gain and loss. This transcendental position is achieved in full Krishna consciousness when one is fully dependent on the good will of Krishna. So it's very nicely put. If we are trying to progress in spiritual life, in the material life, like we may regress or we may have some ups and downs. What should we do? And here it is taught that we should learn to tolerate. We should learn to tolerate the material happiness and distress. We should learn to tolerate the material emotions, and we should learn to tolerate the thoughts that are coming. Material mind, it doesn't have any other business other than keep on churning various different thoughts. So no, we have to tolerate. So when the mind is putting forward, oh, like tomorrow this may happen, I have to do this, and if this happens, what will I do? If that happens, what will I do? Oh, I did this thing in the past, like I should have not done this. So much of crap and useless things the material mind will keep on speaking, and we have to just tolerate it. No, there is no point indulging in such thought. So we have to indulge in the thoughts which are transcendental. On our own, we are not capable of indulging in transcendence. That's why we should take help of chanting, wherein we can like indulge in transcendence. And we can take help of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, where we can indulge in transcendence. That is helpful for us, right? So our mind, no, it is fully dipped in three modes of nature, and there is no point in spending time with our mind. It is complete utter waste of time. It is actually suicidal to spiritually suicidal to spend time, with our mind and the analyzing our thoughts and things like that. Just we have to tolerate or give it up and switch to the spiritual consciousness. So life is very, very short. No, we don't know when we will, when our last day, no notice will come. And before like we get to the last point of our life, we should know somehow or other become Krishna conscious. No, otherwise another life, another LKG, UKG, another school, college, and things like that, and another life of struggle and things like that. So how many times we will repeat this? Mm. So I often ask people that, have you enjoyed your childhood? Like, no, or how did you like your schooling and things like that and all? So generally they say, oh, it was so nice. So would you like to repeat it again? They say, no, 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 it's one time, it's okay, that's it. So we don't want to repeat it. So that's the situation that no, it is just a formality that we are uh, we are told we are trained to tell that, oh, it was so nice in my childhood, it was so nice then, and things like that. But if anyone you ask extended this one opportunity to uh, go through the same experience again, they'll say no, it's enough. Like one time we have gone through, no good memories, it's sufficient. We don't want to repeat it. No, that's the thing. So we don't want to repeat. So no one has such great an experience, a life that they want to repeat, keep repeating, this material life. But then we become slackened in the process for getting back to the spiritual world. So we should develop enthusiasm, and that's the purpose of our meeting every afternoon here, is to gain that enthusiasm to become focused in Krishna consciousness, gain that enthusiasm that I must reach the ultimate goal of getting back to the spiritual world. I should not settle for anything cheap or anything else in this material world, right? So we should somehow or other get back to the our original position. Okay, text 46. Yavan artha udapane sarvata samplutodake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanatah. All purpose served by a small well can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. Similarly, all purposes of the Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them. So, what's the purpose behind the Vedas? Um, um, okay, so what's this question? Not only childhood, not even yesterday? Um, Not able to understand that. So, okay, so we will continue. This is a very amazing sloka which says that all the purpose of small wells, like in the village area, we see there is one well will be there for washing the clothes, and one well for cleaning the pots, and one well for taking the bath, and like this, different wells will be there for different purposes. And if we have a reservoir of water, if we have a running water, a river or something like that, so then all purposes served. So there people go to wash the clothes, there people can wash the utensils, there people can take bath also. So everything can be served. All the purposes are served by going to a reservoir of water. So in that way, like here we see that these Vedas are giving different small for various betterment of life. No, there are different sections of Vedas are recommended. But then, if one knows the purpose behind them, what is the purpose behind them? Is to make us understand we are not in the spiritual world. We are supposed to be in the spiritual world, serving the Supreme Lord, but we are stuck in this material world. So, if we can understand this, so then it solves the study of all the portions of Vedas. That's why we are simply interested in studying Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. We don't want to get into other Vedic literatures because they are bewildering. They just encourage us in the sense gratification. So even amongst the Vedic body of literatures, we are not interested in everything. We are interested in only those things which are meant for uplifting us to the spiritual consciousness. Okay, purport. The rituals and sacrifice mentioned in the Karma Kanda division of the Vedic literature are meant to encourage gradual development of self-realization. And the purpose of self-realization is clearly stated in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita 15:15. The purpose of studying the Vedas is to know Lord Krishna. Vedescha sarvar ahameva vedyaha vedanta krit vedavit eva chaham. Right? So the purpose of the Vedas is to know the Supreme Lord. And if somebody knows that purpose and he's trying to understand Krishna, he's trying to surrender to Krishna, and sufficient. There is no need of studying other Vedic literatures. No, it's simply waste of time. Okay. So self-realization means understanding Krishna and one's eternal relationship with him. The relationship of the living entities with Krishna is also mentioned in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita 15:7. When we were doing the Purushottam month, we were reciting these chapters, right? The living entities are parts and parcels of Krishna. Therefore, revival of Krishna consciousness by individual living entity is the highest perfectional stage of Vedic knowledge. This is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam 3:33-7 as follows. Okay, this is spoken by Mother Devahuti to Kapila Dev, no, her son. So Kapila Dev is the incarnation of Lord, and Mother Devahuti is actually having a conversation with Kapila Dev, and there she actually mentions this very, very amazing sloka, which is a booster for all of us for appreciating our good fortune to have come till so far, right? So in the devotional practice. So this sloka goes like this: Aho batasva pachato grahiyan yajjivagre vartate nama tubhyam te pustapaste juhuva shanurarya brahmanuchir nama grananti ete. It says, "Oh my Lord, a person who's chanting your holy name, although born of a low family like that of a chandala dog eater, is situated on the highest platform of self-realization. Such a person must have performed all kinds of penances and sacrifices according to Vedic rituals and studied the Vedic literatures many, many times after taking his bath in all the holy places of pilgrimage. Such a person is considered to be the best of Aryan family." So Aryan family means like very cultured, evolved family. So here it's mentioned, no, ahobata swapachato gariyan. So swapacha means like dog eaters. No, even if a person has come from the family of Chandala or dog eaters, no, if he is chanting the names of the Lord, no, if he has come to the point of chanting the names of the Lord, that means no, it is the essence of all the rituals, all the practices, or no, essence of taking bath in all the holy places of pilgrimage, and essence of studying all the Vedic literatures is to come to the point of chanting the names of the Lord. And Mother Devahuti is telling that if somebody has already come to the point of chanting the names of the Lord, oh, they have finished all that. No, they have finished all the other peripheral activities. No, completely. No, they have become the best of the cultured family, right? So even though they come from the dog eater family, they have immediately be certified as the best of the cultured family because they have come to the point of chanting the names of the Lord. Okay. So one must be intelligent enough to understand the purpose of Vedas without being attached to the rituals only, and must not desire to be elevated to the heavenly kingdoms for a better quality of sense gratification. It is not possible for the common man in this age to follow all the rules and regulations of the Vedic rituals, nor is it possible to study all of the Vedanta and the Upanishads thoroughly. It requires much time, energy, knowledge, and resources to execute the purposes of the Vedas. This is hardly possible in this age. The best purpose of Vedic culture is served, however, by chanting the holy name of the Lord, as recommended by Lord Chaitanya, the deliverer of all fallen souls. When Lord Chaitanya was asked by a great Vedic scholar, Prakashananda Saraswati, why he, the Lord, was chanting the holy name of Lord like a sentimentalist instead of studying Vedanta philosophy, the Lord replied, his spiritual master had found him to be a great fool and thus asked him to chant the holy name of Lord Krishna. He did so and became ecstatic like a madman. In this age of Kali, most of the population is foolish and not adequately educated educated to understand Vedanta philosophy. The best purpose of Vedanta philosophy is served by inoffensively chanting the holy name of the Lord. Vedanta is the last word in the Vedic wisdom, and the author and the knower of Vedanta philosophy is Lord Krishna. And the highest Vedantist is the great soul who takes pleasure in chanting the holy name of the Lord. That is the ultimate purpose of all Vedic mysticism. So here we see that Lord Chaitanya was asked by Prakashananda Saraswati. Prakashananda Saraswati is a Mayavadi sannyasi, and he was residing in Varanasi. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had visited the this one Varanasi, and at the time he was naturally like he was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was always chanting and dancing with his followers, and he would do this sankirtan everywhere. And when Prakashananda Saraswati saw that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's a sannyasi and he's not engaged in study of Vedanta, rather he is chanting the names of the Lord. So why he is doing so? So Prakashananda Saraswati no inquires Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like, why are you doing like this? You are a sannyasi, you should sit amongst us and you should study Vedanta. No, why are you like chanting and dancing like this? And Mahaprabhu says that my spiritual master had found me foolish, and then he asked me to just chant the names of the Lord. So it's indirectly telling to them that you are a fool, trying to search out all the Vedanta and analysis and things like that. So I've already come to the conclusion of the Vedanta, that is chanting the names of the Lord. So why are you spending this much of time, right? So this analysis requires a lot of time, and the people are not in the Kali Yuga, like people are not very much educated, or they don't have the capacity to understand the Vedanta fully. So rather than wasting time, in that, so they should try to take the ultimate goal or ultimate destination simply by the help of the Lord Chaitanya. So Lord Chaitanya has given the essence of everything, that is chanting the names of the Lord. So we should just take that and perfect our life. Okay, text 47. Karmanyevadikaraste ma phaleshu kadashana ma karma phala heturbhur ma te sangostva karmani. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty. Right? So this is a very famous sloka which people often misquote. People often keep quoting this sloka for citing that you should do your duty, and you should do your duty. And for them, the definition of duty is whatever duty they have materially concocted, that is their duty. So here, let's see some of the wrong understandings of this general usage of this sloka. So people use it saying for the duty, but then we see this kind of a situation where we are asked to be in this kind of situation in the material world. So you have the right to perform your duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of the action. So when we go to work for a company, that is when you have the right to perform your duty, because you have been paid for it. No, you should do your duty. And then by your performance of duty, if some good profit has come to the company, but no, you are not entitled to the profit. You are entitled to work, but you are not entitled to the profit. Why I am not entitled? Because I have already purchased your intelligence by offering you a salary, right? So when I have already, if the boss is saying like this, I already purchased you by offering you a salary. So now whatever you do, whatever you bring about as this one of your intelligence. No, it all belongs to me. No, the boss will say like it all belongs to me. You just have to simply work. And no, don't be attached to not working. No, because that is not very good. I am paying you salary and you are not working. That is not good. And don't be attached to the results that you are producing because it belongs to the company. It doesn't belong to you, right? So this is the context it is. And here, the people of this world, they apply this for their concocted duties. So if Krishna is the boss and he's telling this, no, Krishna is telling this. So Krishna is telling that, no, please, no, don't be like attached to the fruits of the action. No, fruits belongs to me. Yeah, all the results of our work should be offered to Krishna. And then duty, what duty to perform? Can I concoct my own duty? Just like the boss in the office assigns the duty, in the same way, Krishna assigns the duty for us. And now we should follow the duties which are prescribed in the like Vedic literatures or prescribed in Bhagavad Gita. And especially the duties of chanting the names of the Lord, studying the scriptures, no Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, no all these devotional elements that must be performed. So like this wrong citation of this sloka has created so much of problem. So in fact, whenever people see, people like us where brahmacharis who have given up the material duties and things like that, they generally cite this sloka. So they say that like you should not give up your duty. And no, we generally say like, no, we are just doing our duty. Like, no, you have given up the duty of serving the Lord and you are doing your concocted duties. But actually, we have taken up our duty and we are trying to serve the Lord. So Lord is our boss. Who's telling the sloka? So the sloka is told by the Lord, and we must engage in this duty. Anyways, let's get into the purport. And there are three considerations here: prescribed duties, capricious work, and inaction. Okay. Prescribed duties are activities enjoined in terms of one's acquired modes of material nature. So, and if we are Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, so Krishna accordingly defines. So, based on our modes, Krishna accordingly defines the duties in the Bhagavad Gita, right? And then capricious work means action without the sanction of authority. So, that means all these concocted duties that we are talking about. So, without reference to the scriptures, you just bring about your own duty and then say like, this is my duty. No, I must take care of this. I must take care of that. Who has told you that this is your duty? No, has Bhagavad Gita told that this is your duty? So we ourselves make our own duties and then no, we try to do those things. So that is called capricious work. No, without sanction of authority. And inaction means not performing one's prescribed duties. So, no, this either both inaction and capricious work, both are not good actually. Okay. Lord advised that Arjuna not be inactive, but that he perform his prescribed duty without being attached to the results. One who is attached to the results of his work is also the cause of the action. Thus, he is the enjoyer or sufferer of the results of such actions. Now, here we see, as we had in Bhagavatam, we were tracing one particular aspect while reading Bhagavatam, that is the aspect of hearing. So, Krishna gives, or the Bhagavatam actually emphasizes a lot about the aspect of hearing. And in Bhagavad Gita, also that same thread will be there, but one more interesting thread will be there in Bhagavad Gita, that is discouragement to enjoy the results of one's own activities. No, try to be detached. No, Bhagavad Gita will keep on speaking about this at every place. Like Krishna will keep on repeating this. Don't try to enjoy the fruits of your own action. No, that's very, very obnoxious, very bad. No, it is not a very good thing. So he's just Krishna is such a wonderful master. He's very, very nicely he is teaching us. So if we do this thing in any company, they will say like, no, you just work and then the customer gives a huge business deal to the company, and then you enjoy a little bit of that profit. No, you just directly take access that profit which is meant for the company. You just access it a little bit, or you just take a little bit from that, immediately disciplinary action will be taken and immediately we will be thrown out of the system. In fact, we are also done like that. So we are also thrown out of the spiritual world and we are put into the jail of the material world. For this reason that everything belongs to Krishna. And if we want to enjoy things that belongs to Krishna, so then we will be put in the material world. And here Krishna is very nicely teaching us, no, please don't be don't try to enjoy the fruits of your action. No, that doesn't belong to you. No, it belongs to me. So more and more you try to break this rule, more you will be in trouble. No, and Krishna is telling, what have I not given you? No, I am ready to give everything to you. But the process is to offer it to Krishna and take it as prasad. That is the process. So if we directly try to access things without Krishna in picture, then it becomes such a horrible thing. Like please don't do it. So that's what Krishna is telling. So this is the very, very lowest rung, of actions. So little better than this is karma kanda, where okay, no, I want sense gratification, but I'll offer to Krishna and I'll take. No, that's the little better version. And then the next better version is nishkama karma yoga. So a person is thinking that no, I like everything belongs to Krishna. The results of action should also be belonging to Krishna. So I have acquired some nature, and I'm Brahmana or a Kshatriya or a Vaishya or a Shudra. I should perform my duties and I should not be attached to the results. And after some time, he understands, when he comes to a little bit knowledge by following this Nishkama Karma Yoga, he comes to a point of understanding, no, why am I doing this material duties at all? So why should I do the Brahmana duty, Vaishya duty, Kshatriya duty, and things like that? I am a spirit soul, part and parcel of Krishna. No, I must engage in the devotional service to Krishna. That is how the knowledge aspect actually increases. Gradually, we give up the material fruits that is there, the results of our action. Then gradually we transform our action into fully Krishna conscious action. So in that way, we become advanced in Krishna consciousness. Okay. Um, the Lord advised that Arjuna not be inactive, but that he perform his prescribed duty without being attached to the results. So in this particular section, the Nishkama Karma Yoga is being recommended to Arjuna. That is why Ma Phaleshu, so he is mentioning, no, don't be attached to the phala, no, don't be attached to the results of your actions. One who is attached to the results of his work is also cause of the action. So if I am attached to the results of my work, so then I am termed as the owner of the work, and I have to experience the happiness and distress of that work. Now, if all the results, like the same example that we had taken, I am an employee of a company, and then I am trying to enjoy the results of my action. So then I have to pay for it. No, I have to either face the disciplinary action, or I have to own the whole weight of that whole action. But then if I offer everything, if I do everything based on the instructions of the company or the boss, and then I offer all the results back to the boss, so whether profit or loss, whatever comes, it is all to be faced by the boss and not by me. And I will keep getting my salary. So, but then if I do something on my own, then I'll be held responsible, right? So in the same way here also, if I do every action based on the recommendation or based on the direction given by the Supreme Lord or his representative, the spiritual master, so, and then offer all the results of my work to the Supreme Lord. So then, Krishna is the enjoyer and sufferer, and Krishna is a ultimately blissful person. So he will not suffer. So, and then whatever comes as a prasad from the Lord will also make us very, very happy. Prasade sarva dukkhanam hanir ashyopajayate. So it is all the dukkha will be removed if we are accustomed to take only prasad, accustomed to offer things to the Lord and take it. Not just food, everything in our life must be offered first to the Lord, because He is the proprietor. He is the actual owner of everything. He should be offered and then take. And then we should accept only prasad. So, okay. Next, as far as the prescribed duties are concerned, they can be fitted into three subdivisions, namely routine work, emergency work, and desired activities. Routine work performed as an obligation in terms of scriptural injunctions without desire for results is action in mode of goodness. Work with results becomes the cause of bondage. Therefore, such work is not auspicious. Everyone has his proprietary right in regard to prescribed duties, but should act without attachment to the results. Such disinterested obligatory duties doubtlessly lead one to the path of liberation. So this is how we should conduct our material life. No, very, very clearly Krishna is mentioning in the shloka, and Prabhupada is nicely explaining that particular aspect. So let's read this thing. Everyone has proprietary right in regard to prescribed duties, but should act without attachment to result. Such disinterested, obligatory, mm, okay, it's not moving to the next page. Disinterested, obligatory duties doubtlessly lead one to the path of liberation. So this is the way of, preparing ourselves for a better future. You know, we should not be so much interested. We should not be so much attached to the material work. So we should just be. It is my duty. I have to take care of these things. It is my duty. I'll take care. But my interest is somehow or other I have to attain the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. So that should be the goal. That goal should be very, very clear and solid. That is when we will be able to reach. Arjuna was therefore advised by the Lord to fight as a matter of duty without attachment to the result. His non-participation in the battle is another side of attachment. Such attachment never leads one to the path of salvation. Any attachment, positive or negative, is cause for bondage. Inaction is sinful. Therefore, fighting as a matter of duty was the only auspicious path of salvation for Arjuna. Very, very amazing purport. Okay, next purport will next sloka we see 48. Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tyakpa dhananjaya siddhi asiddhayo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. Perform your duty equipoised, O Arjuna, abandoning all attachment to success or failure. Such equanimity is called yoga. So Krishna is telling the task is given to you by me, and you have got some material modes of nature, and then you have to act according to your nature. So why are you thinking about profit or loss? Anyway, it is not belonging to you. Be attached to your duty. No, don't be attached to the success or failure. Don't be attached to the results of your action. Just be attached to your duty. Okay. Purport. Krishna tells Arjuna that he should act in yoga. Okay, this is also another very important principle. Samatvam yoga uchyate. So the important principle of any system of yoga is this samatva, like being equal in siddhi, asiddhi, success or failure. So a person has to like practice this samatvam, and like how does it happen? If we are not attached to our actions of work, so then we will be able to have this samatva. But if you're too much attached to the material things, then we will be swayed by the failure and success or happiness and distress of this world. So that should not be done. If a person is too much wavered by these things, then he cannot be focused on the yoga process. He cannot practice the bhakti yoga, any yoga for that matter. Purport. Krishna tells Arjuna that he should act in yoga. And what is that yoga? Yoga means to concentrate the mind upon the Supreme by controlling the ever disturbing senses. And who is the Supreme? The Supreme is the Lord Krishna. And because he himself is telling Arjuna to fight, Arjuna has nothing to do with the results of the fight. Gain or victory are concerns of Krishna. Arjuna is simply advised to act according to the dictation of Krishna. The following of Krishna's dictation is real yoga, and this is practiced in the process called Krishna consciousness. By Krishna consciousness only can one give up the sense of proprietorship. One has to become the servant of Krishna or the servant of the servant of Krishna. That is the right way to discharge duty in Krishna consciousness, which alone can help one to act in yoga. Arjuna is a Kshatriya, and as such he is participating in the Varnashrama Dharma institution. It is said in the Vishnu Purana that in the Varnashrama Dharma, the whole aim is to satisfy Vishnu. Varnashrama Charavatha Pumsa, uh, like, mm, okay, um, I'm not able to remember the sloka, but Samsiddhir Haritoshanam, no, it comes, or no, 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 not that. So it's basically like Vishnu Aradhyate Panta, Nanyat Tattosha Karanam, no Anyat Tattosha Karanam. So all the Varnashrama duties must be performed, no, for the purpose of Vishnu Aradhyate Pumsa. So, like for the purpose of worshipping Vishnu, and na anyat tattosha karanat. So there should not be any other goal other than this, no, other than what? Tattosha, no, like to satisfy Supreme Lord Vishnu. So nothing else apart from satisfying the Supreme Lord Vishnu should be there part of our system. So that is what is the essence of the Varnashrama Dharma. And here, even if from Varnashrama angle of point of view, if we see, no, like what is the point of whole Varnashrama is to satisfy Vishnu, and the Supreme Vishnu, Krishna, is here, and he is telling that, I want this battle to happen. So then, what is the confusion? What is the other second thought that a person needs to see? He just simply has to execute. No. Okay, no one should satisfy himself, as is the rule in the material world, but one should satisfy Krishna. So, unless one satisfies Krishna, one cannot correctly observe the principles of Varnashrama Dharma. Indirectly, Arjuna was advised to act as Krishna told him. Okay, text 49. Durena hi avaram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya buddho sharanam anvicha kripana phalakhetava. Again, no, Krishna is hitting on the point of kripana phalakhetava. No, those who want to enjoy the results of their work, they are called kripana, they are called misers. No, we will trace this point in Bhagavad Gita. It's a very, very interesting this one. So attachment to the fruits of action. Krishna will keep on beating this point. Throughout the Bhagavad Gita, in every chapter we will see this. Okay. O Dhananjaya, keep all abominable activities far distant by devotional service. And in that consciousness, surrender unto the Lord. Those who want to enjoy the fruits of their work are misers. Purport. One who has actually come to understand one's constitutional position as the eternal servitor of the Lord gives up all engagements save working in Krishna consciousness. As already explained, Buddhi Yoga means transcendental loving service to the Lord. Such devotional service is the right course of action for the living entity. Only misers desire to enjoy the fruits of their own work just to be further entangled in material bondage. Except for work in Krishna consciousness, all activities are abominable because they continually bind the worker to the cycle of birth and death. One should therefore never desire to be the cause of work. Everything should be done in Krishna consciousness for the satisfaction of Krishna. Misers do not know how to utilize the assets of riches which they acquire by good fortune or by hard labor. One should spend all energies working in Krishna consciousness, and that will make one's life successful. Like misers, unfortunate persons do not employ their human energy in service of the Lord. Right? So anybody who's not willing to be engaged in the service of the Lord is called as a miser. So because the energy is also an asset, that should be engaged in the service of the Lord. One's hard-earned money is also an asset, that should be engaged in service of the Lord. And whatever we may do, like any activities, the results that come through those activities, they are also energy of the Lord, and it should be offered in the service of the Lord. And in that way, like, we will be proper. Otherwise, Krishna will describe persons who are attached to their fruits of action in different ways. Here he is describing them as misers, right? Kripana phalahetava. Okay. Okay, we will continue it tomorrow. So we will stop here. So I thank everyone for joining here on the auspicious month of Karthik. Now we are able to get together and chant or read the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam every day. It's really a great fortune for all of us. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Hare Krishna.